Hi, my name's Josh. Welcome back to the library at Hermit Street, where I'm still hoping that tiny microphone will help with some of the audio issues the most of the episodes have had so far. This time I'm holding it right up to my gob and hoping that solves the problem. Uh, Short one this week because if you haven't heard, a massive snowstorm hit the east coast of the U.S. I am very sore from shoveling, and that is also why I'm in my jammies because I'm pretty much going back to bed after this. uh, so we have one current read that I started as part of, oh hey, it's snowing, and then two classics on the theme of snow. I guess I always try to have a little theme. I don't know how successful I am at it though. The first book on the snow theme, Where Eagles Dare by Alistair McLean. And so I got into McLean a few years ago, just like one of those, saw this and Force 10 from Navarone and Guns of Navarone for cheap at a used bookstore, and I was like, oh, I've heard of those, and they have fun pulpy covers. I'll give them a shot. I was expecting, I think, like pulpy, jingoistic John Wayne stuff. And they do have a certain World War II pulpy verve to them, but they're almost more like heist movies to some extent. A lot of the a lot of it is sneaking missions and like, how do we get past these guys without killing them? Uh, it's very Metal Gear Solid. It's a sneaking mission until like so this one is Where Eagles Dare is about them infiltrating a impregnable mountain Nazi fortress. So it is two-thirds Metal Gear Solid sneaking mission, and then the last third is turns into Contra, and it's a run and gun, shoot 'em up action movie. It's great. I very much recommend these. They're a lot smarter than you would think, a lot more fun and clever and smart action movies, rather than like lunk-headed, I don't know, John Wayne shit. No one likes John Wayne. Next up, we have Lost Horizon by James Hilton. And this one kind of the cover kind of matches my hoodie here. So this says the first paperback ever published. I don't know if that's the case. I don't do any research for these. I don't know if that's just like this is the first paperback copy of this, um, or if this was the first paperback ever published. Maybe it was. Like I said, I don't do research. I should. Um, I This was another one where I knew the title and I saw it for sale for cheap, and I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. What I didn't realize until I read it was that this is the original Shangri-La story. So this is the what I think of as like the Iron Fist setup. Um, Dead Man, a lot of comics examples, but it's gets used in like pulp adventures. That's maybe the other theme of this episode is snow and pulp. Um, but the idea that there is a mystical, immortal society hidden in the Himalayas, and a Westerner crashes there and kind of has to decide, like, oh, do I stay here in enlightened paradise, or do I return to the outside world, knowing that this magical city only shows up every once in a while and I can never find it again if I leave. Not super enlightened. A little white saviory, a little bit. Um, Problematic in spots, Orientalist, that sort of thing. It was interesting to read in terms of, oh, that's where this trope comes from. It was one of those things where I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, this is like a Shangri-La story, and that's like, oh, that's the name of the play. This is the Shangri-La story. This is the original. So that was interesting. I don't know. Up to you whether or not you want to read it someday. As are all of these recommendations, reviews, etc. I just talk about what I have here, honestly. Um, but last and not least, so this is my current. I started this yesterday as like, oh, it's snowing. I'm gonna curl up with a good book and read something new. This is Between Two Fires by Christopher Birman. Birman. I'm sure I'm butchering his name, but and I apologize. Comparisons are reductive and odious, and I know probably not everyone appreciates them. Between Two Fires is so far. I'm only on like chapter 5 or 6. It started off as like a Black Plague Last of Us in France, medieval France. A disgraced knight who's had to do some hard things to survive uh, takes a little girl under his wing, a precocious young lass, and begrudgingly agrees to transport her to her destination. I was expecting it to be. Let me hold off on the spoilers real quick, and I'll give you my overall impression of it so far. It has a very deft, brisk hand for dialogue that I like, and it's really good at occasional moments of surreal, uh, evocative imagery. There's a moment where the main knight dribbles honey into one of his like ex-bandit companions' mouths. Like they're making him dig a grave, and he's like, "Oh, please, you have honey. Let me taste some of that honey." And he dribbles it almost like a sacrament into his mouth from above, and it's just like one of those weird, graceful, grubby but beautiful moments. It was an interesting note to hit. When I hold this finger up, I'm going to be talking spoilers, and when I drop it, if you scroll through, that's when the spoilers are over. So, spoilers. I was expecting the supernatural elements to be metaphorical or like a the characters think this is magic, but we know better as modern readers sort of deal. What I wasn't expecting, I'm on chapter 5, and chapter 5 just concludes this action. Uh, there's a river monster, like a full on Dark Souls boss river monster with poison quills and like even when they tell the knight about it and the townsfolk beg him to kill it, they're saying like, "Oh yeah, it's this big lizard thing that lives in the river and it's eaten a couple people." And I'm like, "Oh, it's an alligator," or like, "Oh, it's some kind of explainable phenomenon." And no, no, it is a giant snake thing with spines, uh, and it can mimic human voices, and it's got a human hand on the end of its tail, like a perfectly formed, pale human hand that functions. And it functions because at one point it pulls a spear that's been stabbed into its side out of its side and throws the spear and nearly takes the guy's head off. It's nuts. I'm all in. I am like, I was enjoying it as it was, and then some wild shit happened, and I'm sold. I'm in. Uh, can't wait to see what happens next. And spoilers. So yeah, Between Two Fires. So far, so good. Expecting the rest of it to be good. Um, can't wait to see what kooky stuff these characters get up to now that hell is cracked open and all the devils are in medieval France, apparently. So yeah, that concludes this relatively short episode because again, I am very sore from shoveling. I'm very old. My body doesn't work the way it does. I'm in my pajamas because I'm about to go right back into bed, having eaten a bowl of ramen big enough to kill God and use that to warm my aching bones. If you're caught in the massive snowstorms hitting parts of the world right now, stay safe, stay warm, help your neighbors stay safe and warm. And as always, thank you for joining me for these episodes. I hope this helped the audio somewhat, and I will see you next time, hopefully.